And we are live Sunday evening. Welcome to DWIT 3D. Well, I may have jumped the gun on the topic a little bit, but that's okay. You'll understand when you see why. I put the topic as input shaper, but apparently there's a couple things I have to do beforehand. But it's been a long road to get this guy to this stage. It's been a very long road. When I thought I had it all said and done, what did I do? I said, let's change the board and switch and learn Klipper. That was a challenge in itself, let's say, considering I didn't know what I was doing. I've learned a lot. I've come a long way. Jason has been a tremendous help with that. We didn't stream last week. I did pop in between my last stream and this stream with Jason to work on the Klipper. We have upgraded to what's called RatOS. Apparently the other one, which was I don't remember what it was, but it's gone. They're no longer supporting it. So I think RatRig has decided, or somebody has come up with a RatOS, and it's running on a platform called Mainsail. So this is all new to me. So basically my display or my dashboard looks like this. So we have the RatOS with Mainsail interface. Yeah, I've got this thing just staying warm. I've got the bed heating up right now because a bed this size, you want to keep it warm. Although it looks like it's cooling itself off right now. So we're going to go back up and put the nozzle on and put the bed back on here because we got to run a test print here real quick. So yeah, but that's where we're at. So we're running Klipper on the RatRig with the Big Tree Tech SKR Pro 1.2, I believe it is, with the 2209 steppers in it. We have Klipper software running on RatOS with Mainsail. And yeah, there's where we go. vCore OS gone. I believe it's vCore OS. That might be the one that's gone. I'm not sure. No, it's you have to look it up. I forget which one, but I was advised that, why not just upgrade to RatOS right now, because that will be supported going forward. So Fluid, thank you. It's Fluid that's going away. They're no longer going to, I think this is what Jason told me, don't quote me, but I believe they're just no longer going to support it. They're kind of letting it go. And so RatOS has taken over. So yeah. And I started a little early because I saw Liam pop in there and said, let's get this show going. So I will. So I'm just going to see who's on here and say hi to everybody tonight. I don't have a co-host tonight. I'm going solo. So it may be a boring stream, may be interesting, because we're going to go through a few things as far as tuning now. So we have Non-Fam, who was first on as always. Hey, Non-Fam, how are you? And then Jerry is here. We have Steven here, SPC 3D. Who else do we have? Kieran, of course. Thank you, Kieran. This title sounds like some strange weight loss scam. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I don't even know if we're going to get to input shaping tonight. We'll see how the time goes. 3D print newbie, Milan, hello, welcome. Let's see who else is here. We went through those. David Wilson, hello. And Jeff Hutchins from BC, hello. Thank you for popping in. And of course, Liam is here, and we have Pierre from Edmonton. Hey, Pierre, thank you. Welcome. I don't know if I've seen you on the channel before, but welcome. And Audra Murphy, howdy. David Wilson is here. Dominic is here. Old Curmudgeon, welcome. Hello, Old Curmudgeon. We're getting some progress on your logo there. I know that. And then we have Abe Owitz is here. Fluid is going. Yeah, oh yeah, we already talked about that. And then Pierre. Yeah, big change from Marlin to Klipper for sure, Pierre. And then we have Never Let the Machines Win. Mike, how are you? You should have a package, if not already, soon. So yes, that's it. So what we're going to do, and I thought jump right into input shaper. I actually even have, I don't know if I can turn this without interfering with my little tower here. I can't. I even bought and have set up now the ADXL 345 accelerometer. I've got the mount for the accelerometer to go on the hot end. It's a little mount I found that goes on this particular hot end. And but then again, I was reading. So if I switch over here, and let's go into my printer config file here, and this is where I was reading right up top here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys. But if I go into this, how big can I make it? That's pretty big. So as you'll see, according to the printer config file, it's saying the first thing you'll need to do is go through this file, blah, blah, blah. So we've gone through and commented, uncommented everything we need to for this particular printer. And it says you'll be able to print just fine with this config as it is. And I can. I'll show you in a bit. I've done a calibration cube. It's got a bunch of ringing and stuff, but it prints fine for the most part. But then it says that I want to follow the steps properly to calibrate the printer. So step 0 was a sanity check and PID tuning. That was pretty much all done. That was just making sure that all my steppers and everything were moving in the right directions, making sure my end stops are working, making sure that everything is plugged in, configured, and wired properly. That's all been done. And so then I thought, well, input shaping, but that falls down under number 3 under resonance compensation. What falls first under here? First thing it's saying to do is pressure advance, okay, and then skew correction. I didn't know I had to do anything with skew correction, but apparently I do. So I want to work on pressure advance right now first. So that's why I say if I don't get to input shaping, but I think this all leads to input shaping, because when I read the resonance compensation, description in the Klipper page, it tells me to do the prior steps first, do the input shaping and then the skew advance, and then doing the resonance compensation or the input shaping. I think will actually turn out better if those other things are done in advance, because of course you want pressure advance proper so you know you're putting the right amount of plastic on, and you want skew correction done to make sure that your model isn't skewed, in order, I think, to do the input shaping to make sure that the vibrations, you're getting a good reading on your input shaping model. Just anyways, I'm doing it in the order they say, because obviously they have it in their specific order for a reason. So with that, I went to the pressure advance section of Klipper, and it seems pretty straightforward. It tells you what it does. It reduces oozing and during non-extruding moves, and reduces blobbing in the cornering, et cetera, et cetera. In order to calibrate pressure advance, the printer must be configured and operational, as the tuning test involves printing and inspecting test object. So this is sort of working on the tuning. So I have downloaded this model right here, which is, oops, let me raise it up. That's the model that's going to print to tell pressure advance. It's about a 30-minute print. So I'm going to get that model going. You don't have a screen. Oh, you guys are just chatting amongst yourselves, which is good. And I'm going to try and keep an eye on chat as much as I can. But when I'm looking at software, going to the printer and so forth, but as soon as I get this test print going, I'll be able to pay more attention to chat. So basically, I have sliced this model already. I'm getting ready to slice it. So I've used a slicer. I'm going to generate the G code. I've downloaded it. It wants me to 100 millimeters per second with 0 infill and a coarse layer height. Layer height should be around 75% of the nozzle diameter. I'm using a 0.4 nozzle, so my layer height's going to be 0.3. Okay, so 0.3 layer height. Make sure dynamic acceleration control is disabled. I could not find anything in Prusa Slicer to do with dynamic acceleration control, so I've never enabled it. So I'm going to assume it's going to be disabled already. So now I have to send a couple codes to the G-code commands, to the printer, to the board, prior to running the test, to get it ready to run the test. So the first one is setting the velocity limit, square corner velocity, and it makes the travel slower through the corners and emphasizes the effects of extruder pressure. Then for printers with the direct drive extruder, I have to do a tuning tower command, blah, 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 all that. So I'm just going to cut and paste all these things. I don't know exactly what they mean, but this one kind of makes sense, that it wants to slow down through the corner to see the effects of oozing on the corners as it slows down, hence why it's going to adjust the pressure advance when it comes into corners and stuff. So this is all me off the cuff, because as I say, Klipper is brand new to me. I'm just blurbing off stuff that I've learned by doing a whole bunch of reading and research throughout the week, throughout the last 2 weeks after I decided to go to Klipper. So without further ado, I'm going to bring this window over here and make sure I minimize it. Okay, so I'm going to fix this window up here again. Bear with me, guys. Doop. And like that, and we're just going to size this window back to what it should be. There we go. Okay, now we're back in here. So I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to, hey, the apprentice, good. No worry. No problem being late. I started a little bit early, so, and I see Porthos Labalt is on as well. And everybody, I'm going to keep trying to say hi to everybody. So, and as I can, you know, post the, I can show these, but as soon as I get the print going, we'll talk a little bit more about how things are going. Oh yeah, I'll show you this in advance here. I did do this calibration cube. It was the first thing run on Klipper, and it's not bad. Okay, I gotta just see if that, there we go. It's not bad. You can really see the ringing there on the Y side. Okay, that seam is just because that's where the seam was placed. I didn't change the seam position. And you can see some ringing in there. Okay, the top's not too bad. Again, could use some, you know, a little bit more tuning on the top. Bottom was terrible because I'm still kind of playing with the with my Z offset on this thing right now. So, but I think I've got it pretty close tonight. We'll see. But you know, really, the X side is the best side on this cube. Whoops, it's weird in the camera doing this way. But the X side turned out really nice. I don't see a lot of ringing on there. So anyways, that's how we're doing. So, hey, Dennis, how you doing? Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to try and show this on screen as I do it. So this is, let me move this. Oh, wrong one. This window here, right here. Let's move this over here so you guys can see what we're doing. So here we are in Prusa Slicer. I'm going to load Super Slicer eventually. I've been playing with Super Slicer at my office. I love it. It's like Prusa Slicer on steroids. So here's the model. Okay, I've set all the perimeters for it, as they say. So I've gone in. We're going to use a 0.3 layer height. We're going to use 2 perimeters, 3 top, 3 bottom layers, 0 infill. Okay. I'm running a large skirt just because I don't know about my Z offset quite yet. I may have to lower it or raise a little bit as we go. So I run a large skirt with 3 layers on purpose to make sure I'm getting good bed adhesion before it hits the model. So, and I have a little puppy visitor down here. He scared me. Hello, Waylon. And my speed, I've set my main perimeter to 100%, and I've just played with my speeds there, but it wanted 100% for the perimeters and the infill, so that's what I've given it. My filament settings, I run 215, 65-degree bed. It's chilly down in this basement, so I keep that a little warmer than I like to, but 215 for the filament I'm running is reasonable. I'm running Jesse PLA Blue here today. So, okay. And we have, of course, 100% filling fan on the filling. I've disabled it for the first layer because we are running PLA. So here we go with the model. Hey, Ben. What's my dog down here? I don't know. So I want to make sure first that my heaters haven't shut off again. So I'm just going to quickly go to my screen and make sure that my heaters haven't. Yeah, my heaters have shut off again. It's sort of, I think, a safety feature. I can set that timing, but I'm going to bring the bed back up to 65. I'm going to bring the hot end up to 120 because it basically does the it cools down when it does the probing. So, okay, so back to the model. So we're going to slice the model. I've already sliced it. It's 41 minutes. It may be a little quicker. I find they're going a little quicker than it says here. So I haven't got this. I haven't been able to export G-code straight to the slice to the to mainsail yet. I'm having an issue with the code on that. So I'm just going to export the G-code to my downloads or to my documents, doesn't matter, anywhere where I can find it, and I'm just going to save it. It's called Square Tower. Okay, then we'll come into mainsail. We're going to go to G-code files. We're going to import, and I think I put that in my documents, and it was called Square Tower. Right here. Open. There we have Square Tower. We'll do that. We'll start the job. Yes. There we go. Hey, tripod. Like the shirt? I just grabbed it just because I kind of like it. This stream is sponsored by Tripod's Garage on YouTube. Go visit Tripod's Garage on YouTube. He has a great channel if you like to see fires. Just kidding. There we go. It's awful quiet without a co-host. My goodness. So I'm going to let this start up. I've got a close-up cam, but we'll put the close-up cam on as soon as it starts printing. Thanks, Tripod. I know. It's a nice shirt. It's pretty cool. I don't have anything on the back, though, just the front. You may notice that the background here, so I have kind of purged my studio quite a bit. I've done a whole lot of work in the basement. I was taking over the whole basement. I couldn't find anything. So basically, I moved a wall right here, like I'm touching it. There's a wall there. I've kind of confined myself. I've gotten rid of the TV here. There's now a family room on the other side of this wall. So this is just a whole lot better. So here we go. We're going to start the print here. I'm getting up on this and I'm making sure that my Z offset is good because I haven't quite mastered calibrating the Z offset in this yet, but I will be working on it. But I'm close. So here, let's get the close-up camera so you don't look at my belly. All we're doing right now is we are just we're warming up. So basically the bed is warm. It comes up here. It's just the way the starting G code is set. So the print head is coming up to X, up to the top left corner, which is what is going to be X, Y500, X0, I believe. And now the hot end is warming up. And it warms up pretty quick. Hey, Shane. How are you? I thought I had my little mini camera on the close-up one, but let's see. Oh, I do have my mini camera if you want to see me in it too. Hey, oh, wrong one. And we can put me right here. And we'll just shrink me a little bit here. How's that? There we go. Okay, we should start printing any second. We're at 214 degrees. I've got to keep an eye on my Z offset here. I know I have to lower it. I think I changed it in the config file, but I don't think I changed it enough. Oops, you're not seeing much right there. It hasn't started printing yet. Oh, there we go. My camera's a little front heavy. There we go. Now we're moving. Okay, we're doing a purge line right now, and purge line looks good. And now we're going to do my skirt. This is where I'm going to just double check. I am too close. And we'll go up one. There we go. So I moved it too close when I adjusted the G in the config file. Let's see here. And a little bit too far away. So we'll go down that 0.05. And I do 3 just to give myself, until I get used to this. I like doing nice large skirts, especially when I have the volume to do it. And that's much better. Oh, not quite sticking. I could go down a little bit more, maybe 0.02 more. There we go. Okay. No, that's not sticking. I got to go lower. That's not sticking. No, I got to stop this. I'm going to restart it. Not a big deal. Just going to restart it. As I say, I'm still, yeah, you can see that's pretty ugly looking there, right? So, mind you, I should clean my bed too. I've been playing around with stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's dust or dirt or fingerprints or grease on the bed. So let me just give it a quick wipe. And I know people's thoughts on wiping a hot bed, but It works for me. There we go. Let's start the print again. Okay. Okay, let's start one more time. Yeah, pasta. I'm making the same pasta on the RatRig. Yes, I am. You have a glass plate you first locally. Well, I don't know. I can't imagine what a glass plate for this thing would cost this size for a good proper tempered glass, or I forget what it's called, the type of glass you need to heat to that temperature. Same glass I think is used in a fireplace. But yeah. Okay, we'll start this. We'll do a restart on this. No big deal. Hey, Lucas. My probe is calibrated. They scratch very easy. Yeah, I haven't scratched it yet. I just cursed myself, I'm sure. Who else is there? Ryan Thorpe. Oh yeah, it's been a while. Welcome. And we have, who else has popped in since, I think that's it. Justin 3D, hello. And I think I've said hello to everybody. If I've missed anybody, I apologize. So, what are we waiting for? Oh, it's letting the bed cool down a little bit before it starts the print. Okay. We'll get it going, hopefully. Otherwise, this has just been a stream of me rambling. Here we go. Here we go. Let me back this up a little bit here so we don't, there we go. So we kind of get an overall view of what's going on here. Make sure we're focused. There we go. We're going to come over here, heat up the hot end. And stop. The glass bed for this thing would be heavy. Yeah, and it would add, and on top of the weight of the hot plate as well, that would be really, really heavy. This thing's heavy as it is. So I'm not a fan. I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of glass. I've never used glass other than the glass plates that come with the Creality printers, etc. But I've always used the flexible build plates with the PEI finishes, and I've had no problem at all with them. So. Monster motors. Yes, these are big motors. We'll give it that. Okay, here we go. Now I gotta check my, for sure. Okay, we have a calibration line. See, it still seems a little low. Okay. Okay. I don't have the display hooked up to it yet, so that's why I'm going back and forth to my computer. Yeah, I think the bed was a bit dirty too, because this is adhering a lot better so far. Second one, yeah, this is much, much better. I think I just needed a little cleaning on the bed. So let's see how the first layer starts on the cube. Oh, much better. Look, no spaghetti. Okay, good. No spaghetti. We'll let this print. So I had to adjust. I'm down minus 0.7. So I know I can go into my into my config file and add 0.7 to whatever my my Z offset is right now. So we'll let this print, and then I'm going to go over the next steps. How'd the firmware recompile go? It went fine, Shane. So what we ended up doing, when I was using, oh, what was the other one I was using? Somebody just mentioned it earlier. Sorry, I'll find it. Bear with me. Oh man, there's too much chat going on here. Anyways, I was using, I've changed the OS basically. I'm using RatOS, RatOS and Mainsail now. Because on the other one, when I was using the other one, I would do my updates, my all the updates, and I'd come up with that same error I was having before. Jason and I spent some time trying to fix that error. We even manually recompiled the firmware, etc., and nothing would get rid of that error. So anyways, we ended up basically scrapping that, installing RatCore OS, which is a new one from RatCore versus what was that other one that I was on before? It doesn't matter. And then Rat with the Mainsail. I know there's levels. So RatCore is the OS and Mainsail is the platform, and then there's another thing in here called Moonraker, which I thought that was a James Bond movie, Moonraker. But anyways, so with this one, with RatCore OS and with Mainsail and all that, when I do the updates, it's all fine. No errors, nothing. Everything seemed to go fine. So yeah, it's RatOS now. Yeah. Sounds like a BTT board. This is a Big Tree Tech board that's in this. Yeah, for sure. And man, the fan, I can hear this moving, but the fan is pretty loud on that hot end. So it is what it is. Does that look like a little flaw there? What's going on? Oh no, that's just a bit of hairs. That's looking fine though. I'm having an issue. Like you can see this moving. You guys can see this all shaking. So the one thing about Input Shaper that I've learned, and I learned this watching. Whose video was I watching? Anyways, when you do Input Shaper, you want to do it on the. You want to do it on on the surface you're going to leave the printer on. Right now, this printer is still on the Lazy Susan, and that's why you're seeing a lot of wobble because there's a Lazy Susan plate underneath this. Plywood that I've got it on, and of course it's not stable, so it's wobbling a bit. So when I do Input Shaper on here to show it, it's going to compensate possibly for that's a lot of wobble though. It may compensate for that, but if I move it to its permanent home, then I have to run Input Shaper again to allow for the vibration on its permanent table. 2 print heads on this printer? No, no, not right now. I couldn't even fathom 2 print heads on a Core XY system. I don't know. You mean 2 right side by side, or maybe, I don't know. That's advanced for me right now. This was advanced at one point. I've gotten very comfortable with working with this, so maybe someday, possibly. It shakes more than you're under 5. Yeah, it shakes a lot just because of as I say. If I were to wedge, let's see, if I were to take this cloth, it still smells like alcohol. If I were to wedge this cloth right there, that's gonna, no, that's not enough to stop it because it's a 3 foot by 3 foot piece of plywood with a 12-inch Lazy Susan under it. So it's got 18 inches basically on either side of that Lazy Susan wobbling. Jerry, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You keep that up, you're going to get in big trouble. There we go. I'll just make that a little bigger while we watch this. Because I'm the center of the show. No, so. A shim under the board to limit wobble. Yeah. Anything's better than the cloth, right? What do I have that I could use as a shim? Oh, let's see. Maybe a couple of these. Wonder if that'll do it. Well, that might have done it. There we go. Let's see. Oh, I think that helped a little bit. Nah, it's still a bit of wobble. A little bit of wobble. That's okay. It's not its permanent home. Working on the filament changes, you can run more than one color in your printer, and the next thing will be 2 print heads. Ah, okay, cool. She needs a more powerful broom. You guys are going to get in trouble. Hope you won't. I won't make the input shaping with a Lazy Susan. No. Well, for demonstration purposes, maybe, but I know that it's going to kind of defeat the purpose because it's so shaky. I think in a case when I do that, I will actually shim up the board. I'll probably shim the board up a little bit because the table it's on is very solid. But maybe I'll shim the board up a little bit to do that for demo purposes. But it's going to have a permanent home back over here eventually. I've got a table being built for it. And it's going to be a table made of steel. It's going to be solid. Very solid. So, cinder blocks. Well, yeah, this table that's going to be making, I may put cinder blocks under the corners of this table. We'll see. I still need to be able to get around the back of it too if I have to do any work on it. So, we will see what happens there. So this is about a 30, well, it's at a 41-minute print. So what this print is going to do, now let me just look as this is running so I can maybe go to the next set of instructions on it. Let's see. Where did I put it? Oh, it's in the I got too many windows open on this computer. Pressure Advanced Klipper. Here we go. So let's bring this over here. And let's have a peek at this while this is printing. So basic, oh, I didn't set those, you know what? I did not put these commands in. That's okay, I'll have to, may have to rerun this, but this is live and learn, right? That's my rookie mistake. But what this is going to tell us, okay. So it looks like the above tuning tower command instructs Klipper to alter the pressure advanced setting on each layer in the print. Okay, I have to stop and start this over again. So it needs those commands in order to have a proper print. Okay. That's a little embarrassing. Fluid, that's the one. Yeah, fluid's the one that I got rid of. Anyways, I kind of messed this up. So I have to stop the print here, and I have to put those commands in before I start the print. So, my bad. My bad. Okay. So let me get this off of here. At least I know what my offset is now. But I'll tell you, it's a good looking print so far. Okay, let's do this properly. So I'm going to switch screens here. My bad. We're going to print that again, but I have to copy and paste this command here. Copy. We're going to paste that in over here. We're going to send that. Okay. We're going to copy and paste for direct drive. Okay. Paste this in. Okay. Start tuning test. There we go. Okay. Now I can go ahead and print that. Okay, doke. Sorry about that, folks. But hey, I'm glad I figured it out now instead of screwing it up when I go to measure the test. Hey, Mr. Camo 1024. Have I seen you? Are you new here? I don't recognize the name. 82 subs to 1,000. Oh, yes. Awesome. Tripod. Yes, that's true. 82 subs to 1,000. But, you know what? Other than the fact that I didn't properly do this, this was, let me turn to this camera. So that print was actually looking really nice. There's the bottom. Bottom layer turned out beautiful. Okay, and then there's the... It was turning out nice, but it wasn't doing... That's Jesse Blue PLA. Nice print. But it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, so... Here we go. We're going to start this over again. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how that was looking. Darn. Oh well. Everybody's patient, going to hang out. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate that. I will. I'll mark you down for that. We do have... did I just shake my desk? I did. We do have a printer. I know for a fact that I've been told I can give away a printer on it. And I've yet to hit up a few sponsors, so but that is much appreciated, John. Thank you. They're solid. That solidified this table a bit better. A week or two to get to that 1,000. Well, built over bought, I'm hoping. It's been sort of and it's my own fault in a sense because I've been renovating the studio. I've been missing some streams. And my streams lately have all been RatRig related, and this is almost done. There's only going to be this one, maybe one more, depending on how much I get done tonight. But then I've got to get started, get on. I got a CR30 to do. I got another little printer down here that I've got to do. I've got a few things lined up to do, including some upgrades and some modifications. So. You're wondering what that is because you have PLA and PLA Plus, but that's the only roll I have that is an SPLA. Oh. I don't know what SPLA is. Okay, let me make sure my offset's fine here, which it should be, because it didn't change. Why are you not spitting anything out? There you go. Yeah, it shouldn't have changed at all. No, we're good now. Okay. Well, thank you, David. Appreciate that. If anybody that like that, you guys email me if you can. DWIT3dcanada@gmail.com. I'm going to start a list now because I've got probably 5 or 6 sponsors so far, and I'm going to be reaching out to a lot more people. So, yeah, I've much appreciated. You guys are awesome. That's a good idea, Built Over Bot. Yeah, it's a very good idea. Okay, looks like this one is going to work. There we go. And this has the proper commands in it now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. This is working now. Seems very thin and brittle. Yeah, I've not heard of S-PLA. Huh. Let me see what SPLA for micro. Let me see where you asked that initial question. Oh, Denny from yesterday's stream. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going back and catching up on chat here. Got a lot to watch here. Okay, so if you guys ask me any questions specifically too, just tag me, and that way I can. It'll sort of stand out. I should be reading YouTube chat because I can see the tags. Let's see. There we go. So the first layer is going down a little slower, obviously, but it's looking fine. and it should speed up pretty good. I'm just using the recommended speeds that it said for this, which is 100 millimeters per second to do this. So quite happy with that first layer. Personally, I like the texture the bed does. Of course, if it's on the side of a model, it's going to be a little different, but I actually quite like that texture. It's like the texture on the Prusa sheet, so it's pretty neat texture on that bed. Oh, camera, don't be shy. There we go. Yeah. Oh, you're doing a giveaway on Wednesday. Okay, good to know, Tripod. John? Yeah, that's a great idea, though, Built Over Bot. Yeah. So I'll make sure I do a separate draw for it, because you're right. I mean, last thing I need is another printer. I've got one on its way that I know of. Yeah, I've got an Ender 2 Pro on its way to me, but who knows when it'll get here. And I've got to give some printers away. Honestly, during my purge here, I think I counted in my basement here, I think 14 printers. It's ridiculous. You know, when I first started my stream, my channel, it was about building printers. And it just kind of, and it was great for building printers, but it gets carried away. And then it was like, no, that enough is enough. But so this latest one was basically a kit printer, which is a whole different beast and a whole different ball game. So this was well worth doing, and I think a lot of people have gotten a lot out of this. I know I have. So in going forward, it's going to be more about, okay, I've got the printers. How am I making the printers better? What am I doing with the printers? What modifications are working for them? In a couple cases, if I'm sent a printer, good. I will build a printer, review it. But I can't keep them because I just don't have the space and I don't need them. There's nothing I hate worse than having a printer sitting on the shelf. Like I have a King Room sitting over here that I did. I think it's only ever printed 3 or 4 things and it's just been sitting. And you know, it could be put to much better use by giving it to somebody. So I think I'm going to reach out locally and offer like dirt cheap prices. Say, I'm not going to give them because there is value to them, but if somebody, you know, unless it's a school that really needs one and wants one, I'll donate one to a school or something, but I got to get rid of some of them. Oh, you got your printer running, did you? Okay, good. Good. Yeah, you were having issues with the Z offset, right? Good. That's awesome they were able to help you. I had left for lunch and turns out I went out and grabbed lunch, so I didn't get back on time. So 3 Enders to sell on the floor, but no need to check them out first. Oh, but you need to, yeah. Like I've got my Kaiwu Tycoon. I like it. I had a few issues when I upgraded to the all-metal hot end. I put the old hot end back on. It's printing fine, but I don't want it now. I don't. Every other printer I have will print just as good as the Tycoon will. So I don't need it. And then plus I have 5 down at my office. So I have plenty of printers for a print farm if I need it. And this RatRig, once it's running, is going to be great for doing either large parts or hundreds of small things. So it was the sensor. Oh yeah, okay, that's what they had mentioned. Yeah. Is what wet? Oh, is it wet? No. Yeah, so it was the sensor all along. Was it loose or something? I'm glad you got it running, though. That's great. Let's see. I can start doing this a little bit. So yeah, this I don't know. Depending on how this goes, I may not get to input shaping tonight. After I create, and I apologize because after I created the stream, I went in and read in the config file, and I guess I should read them more. But when I read the top, it sort of just give me the operation for tuning this thing. So, and pressure advance is the first one, so that's all right. I will change the description of the stream after it's all finished. I don't think I can change it while I am streaming. So, Oh, the sensor was garbage and very damaged. Okay. Your SKR Pro 1.2 is dead. Just hook it to your digitizer and you're getting nothing. Oh, that sucks. I don't know a lot about the Big Tree Tech boards. I've heard they've been having issues with some of them. I've heard, I don't know, but I'm just getting into the world of learning boards now. So building the RatRig is the first time I've ever actually used a board from scratch. So it was kind of a painless. It was pretty easy to switch over to the SKR. Tripod has a Creality pad for a bargain price. I have a pad coming in. Again, probably won't get here any sooner than the Ender 2 Pro, but we'll see if I have any luck with that pad. But based on John's video and watching it and stuff, I'm not holding my breath. So I may just have a really fancy looking paperweight. So little quirks, yeah. Their octopus is not a bad price. But I was going to get the octopus when I got this one. I don't need the octopus on this because this is plenty for this printer, but they didn't have it in stock, and I didn't want to order it on Amazon. I went local for this purchase here. So it's interesting. While this is printing, you can see the let me show you this over on this side here. As it switches layers, it's doing the pressure advance. So we have 0.025, 0.004, 0.007, 0.008, 0.010. So I guess what this is doing is it's putting different pressure advance on the nozzle, or different pressures at different layers. And then what I will do, when I'm done, is I'm going to inspect the model and decide which is the best looking corner. So that's sort of the gist that I got of it from reading it before. So yeah, so now it's working properly, whereas before I was just doing a print. So this is pretty cool. Was it supposed to work on a printer with something other than Marlin? From what I understood, it was just supposed to be using Marlin. Porthos. What board am I using? I'm using the Big Tree Tech SKR Pro 1.2 with the 2209 steppers in it. I was using the DWIT initially until I decided to jump on the Klipper bandwagon. But I got to admit, I love the configuration in Klipper. I do like it. It's more idiot proof for people like me. I find it's a lot easier to understand. So I can't though. Where do I put it? I have this display and I haven't figured it out yet. This is I have a panel display, 5-inch, that I had running with the DWIT before, with the DWIT board, but I haven't yet figured out how to get this going. But apparently, with Klipper, I have a Samsung iPad I don't use for much. Apparently, there's a plug-in or a software for Klipper that I can use where I could use that iPad to run the printer. So I'm going to look into that. Same one you got that's dead. Yeah, well, hopefully this one lasts a bit longer for me, knock on wood. So I saw that comment, John, about somebody saying it needs to have the filament runout sensor attached. I think that's BS. I can't imagine you should have to have that attached. So I'm just going to read a little bit more about what I got to do going forward when this is done, now that I've actually set the proper parameters for printing this. So the object was fully printed. The above tuning tower command instructs Klipper alter the pressure advance setting on each layer of the print. Higher layers in the print will have a larger pressure advance value set. Layers below the ideal pressure advance setting will have blobbing at the corners. Okay. Layers above the ideal setting can lead to rounded corners and poor extrusion leading up to the corner. Okay. One can cancel the print early if one observes that the corners are no longer printing well, and thus one can avoid printing layers that are known to be above the pressure advance value. Fair enough. We'll have a look at that after it gets up a little higher. So inspect the print and then use digital calipers to find the height that is the best quality corners. When in doubt, prefer a lower height. Okay, and they're calibrating from the bottom of the print up to the height. Fair enough. And then the pressure advance value can then be calculated as pressure advance equals plus asterisk. For example, 0 plus 12.9, 0.020 would be 0.258. Okay. I have to think about that one for a minute. That's math. Pressure advance equals 0 plus 12.9 times 0.2. Oh, I get it. Okay, 12.9 times 0.2. Okay. We'll look at this after the print's done because this seems a little, I may have to do that while I'm doing it, but I'm going to keep reading this. I'm going to check the chat here. Oh, there we go. Okay. There you go, guys. You're watching me trying to figure this out. If anybody's done pressure advance and you can throw any tips here, feel free to. Okay, it says, although this tuning exercise directly improves the quality of corners, it's worth remembering that a good pressure advance configuration also reduces ooze throughout the print. Okay. I'm still, okay, I got to wrap my head around this part right here. I have to see what the pressure advance is set at right now, although I think it should be 0 because I think it's commented out. And I guess the 0.02, I don't know where they came up with that 0.020. That's what I'm confused about. But that's how we learn. Ah, it's 0.020 because they were using a factor of 0.020 from layer to layer. Okay, that makes sense now. Fair enough. Okay. Okay. You got a free filament dryer. Okay, cool. Which one? I have a filament dryer I've yet to open, but I'm scared to. I've heard nothing but bad reviews on it. It's a Sunlu. I haven't opened it yet. Let's see how we're looking. Oh, yeah, those bottom corners look awful. They're blobbed. Yeah, okay. I see what it means, yeah. On the bottom, you can't really see unless I move in a little closer. Let's see. But the, how much closer can I get you guys? I don't know if you can see there, the bottom corners. It's hard to tell, but yeah, they're blobs. Yeah, you can kind of see the shadow from the bottom corner there. They're just blobby. Blobby. So I'm running it at a 0.03 layer height, because that's what they said to do. Up here, it said to slice the model right here. The layer height should be around 75% of your nozzle diameter, so 75% of 0.04 is 0.03. But I think the 0.02 is coming from right here. What is that? Another document on it? No, copied. It's the set pressure advance parameter advance start. Starts equals 0 and a factor of 0.02. I think what that's saying right here when it says the factor of 0.02 is that, so if you look up here, no, it's 0.043, 0.0445. I don't know what that factor is. I'm not that smart. But yeah, I'm basically saying that that's probably that 0.02 is where this 0.02 number is coming in their calculation. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Makes sense 0, because if pressure advance is turned off right now, makes sense that it's going to be 0, and then I'm adding the factor, the height up times the factor, so 0.258. So it's gibberish to me. I understand plain, clear instruction, so I'm going to know how to get this number, and I'm going to know how to enter that number under pressure advance equals, but I have no clue why or the science, the calculations, the figuring behind that. But not necessarily do I have to know, but yeah, David Wilson says correct. Yeah. So I it increases 0.02 per layer or millimeter, right? Looks like per layer. Well, yeah, why, you know, so you're measuring your height up and you're multiplying it by that factor to come up with your pressure advance number. I don't quite know what that number means other than, hey, it's going to increase the quality of the prints. I'll learn as I go. I mean, really, I will. So, but so far, based on looking at the print, we still have blobby corners. So, plasma machine next month at some point. Oh, nice. Plasma cutter. How big will you be able to cut, John? You've heard people in the Facebook forum saying a pressure advance process yields a value of 3 to 4 times what it should be. Oh, interesting. Dominic says you need to install a small fan on the Sunloo dryer for it to work properly. Okay. That's what I've heard too, to move the air around. And I'm sorry if I miss anything and you guys are asking something, just repost it, because try to keep up with the comments here as I watch this print. And yeah. So we may only get pressure advance done tonight because and I'll just have to change the stream description. But then what I'll do is I'll work on pressure advance. I may cheat a little and go ahead and start with the skew process, but I think next week I'll do the input shaping on my stream next week. And then input shaping, and then depending on that, I may do one stream just to do a nice big print or you know, let's get a nice big print going and see how clean we do. And then I think I've streamed the heck out of the RatRig. So, but I have had a couple comments that people want to see the tuning process of this, and they want to see a final print, how they look, etc. So why not? Pressure advance spreadsheet, but you've been told it doesn't calculate properly. Huh. We'll see. I do remember when I was back when I was running the other board, the DWIT. Jason and I, we adjusted pressure advance a little bit, and it did make a difference in the quality of the print for sure. So let's see. I think we're still pretty blobby. Oh, we're starting to clean up a little bit on the corners, but still a bit blobby. But I'll tell you that the walls of this print look really nice. You know, it makes a huge difference, the filament you're running too. That's the Jesse PLA Blue. I tried on Jerry's stream yesterday. I'm not sure how many of you were watching Jerry's stream. I tried printing a new filament called Metallic Copper. It actually has copper in it, and it was atrocious. That's awful. That's like a benchy gone bad, like it's been rusting. It's better off as a natural reef than anything. But this filament has actual copper in it, and our good friend Liam had suggested that because it's got copper in it, and it makes complete sense what he said, that it needs to be run with a bigger nozzle, a 0.6 nozzle at least. And it makes perfect sense, the fact that it's under extruding pretty much the whole way up this thing. And again, because it's a metal filament, it needs a little bit of, I don't know, it needs a little bit of love. It needs a little bit of testing. So that's why they sent it to me to test it. I'm hanging on to this as basically a printout of a 0.4 nozzle. And then as it comes out, I will, as I get one, I'll do another one with a 0.6 nozzle once I get this all tuned. But I'll try. I've got 0.6 nozzles for other printers, so I may try it. But yeah, I thought, oh crap, this Klipper is printing like crap, but it wasn't. It's the filament. So it's the filament because, as I say, my first cube came out beautiful, and this little pressure advance print is coming out quite nice. Other than the corners are ugly, but that's the whole point of this exercise. You want to see a stream where me and Maria go out to eat with a focus printer. Go out and eat with a focus printer and then an extension cord. Set up a printer on the table while eating and print a benchy. She may be watching the stream right now, but I'll post that question to her. So let me see. Let me text her and say, get on and read Jerry's comment. I'll see if she's watching. And read Jerry's comment. And if I put a couple laughy faces, she may get on and read your comment. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, she might not know who you are, Jerry. So I'm going to put 3DHP. Or she may be asleep. I don't know. But I think that's funny. That's very funny. I missed a question from Mr. Camo. Do you know how I can make custom supports in Cura? I don't use Cura much, Mr. Camo, I'll be honest. I've been using either Simplify 3D, which I know everybody has their opinion on it. I like it. But then Prusa Slicer has been my go-to, and now actually Super Slicer is going to be my go-to. I've been playing with Super Slicer for a little over a week, and I love it. It's Prusa Slicer on steroids. It's got configurations for my RatRig. It's got configurations for, gosh, a ton of printers. So yeah, but yeah, and I've tried playing with Cura, but I could just never get comfortable with Cura. I can use Cura, but I stumble my way through it is the best way to put it. So Gary, the copper filament that I'm using, it's Arion metallic copper, it's called. They asked me if I wanted to test it. I said sure. They have another one, different kind of metallic filament, but they couldn't get it to me in Canada, so they mailed this out to me. I just actually got this on Friday. So I'm going to give this some more. I'm going to give it its fair test for sure. But I thought, oh, I'll just throw it on here. But yeah, it's ugly. So I'm going to try the bigger nozzle as Liam suggested. So I'm just catching up through the chat here, guys. What else do we got going here? Oh, Maria's there. So Maria, what do you think of Jerry's comment? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 up from you. He wants to see it. He wants to see us on a live stream together in a restaurant with a printer. So you can tell Jerry what you think of that idea live right now. Or you can come on down to the basement and tell him in person. Super Slicer, FTW. What am I missing? I kind of like it. Kieran says, Maria Webster, go for it. As long as 3D Print Newbie Milan picks up the dinner tab, don't you agree to it? Now, what does 3D Printer Milan have to do with this? A better idea than McDonald's, she says. It would be a viral video. It would. You know what? I'd be game, but I don't know if Maria would be game, but I'd be game. We could bring it to, I don't know, the keg. I could take you to the keg and we could do that or something like that. That's not a bad idea. Just have a pre-sliced file ready to go. I'm trying to find why Milan would have to pick up the tab. I don't think he even commented on it, Kieran. Are you just trying to point the finger at anybody? Oh, you're thinking Jerry. You meant Jerry. Sorry at 3D printing, Milan. I meant 3D. You're just running yourself into a hole here, Kieran. You've got to. Oh, that's funny. I could preset it up and then film walking out of the house, etc. Ah, that's not bad. And Maria says, keep the romantic ideas coming. Yeah. Hey, what's more romantic than a 3D printer on a table while we're eating dinner, running, I don't know if the restaurant would let me plug in, but hey, I could bring a generator, but they'd probably let me plug in rather than have a loud generator going. But Jerry, you know what? As far out as that is, that's not a bad idea, and that would go super viral. That would very well go viral, because I don't think it's ever been done before. Why don't you do it? Why are you telling me? Have you tried it? Have you asked the missus? Chris Travis, hello. Welcome. Okay. Old curmudgeon for the win. Oh, for the win. FTW. Okay. I got to learn all these acronyms. Okay. What else? Do I think Simplify 3D will ever update? No. No, I think they're done. Why would they? They're charging for their software when you have phenomenal slicers out there right now that are absolutely free. No, I don't think they'll ever update. If they do, I'll eat crow and admit I was wrong, but I don't think they ever will. Preset it up with the business. It'd be good PR for the business too. That's right. It would be very good PR for the business. I could set it up for the business and actually not necessarily a benchy. Maybe I could print the business logo, 3D print the business logo while we're eating dinner. That's not a bad idea. A 3D printer in your honeymoon suite? No, now we're crossing the line there. 3D printer romantic candle holder? Yeah, yeah. Yep. Okay. And Maria's laughing at that, but hey. Nothing is more romantic than a printer taking your attention away from your date. Well, it'd be a kind of different kind of date, right? But this is a marketing date. It's anyways, Maria and I will talk about this. What else are we saying here? Snake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. Have you tried Super Slicer? Yes, I was just talking about Super Slicer. Sansa, I was just talking about Super Slicer. I've been using it for about a week or 2 weeks, playing with it on and off at my office. I've actually printed some models with it that have turned out extremely well. I like it. It's Prusa Slicer on steroids. It's a little, yeah, I like it. I would recommend anybody just try it. I mean, it's free to try, right? So what do you got to lose? All your clocks bring 3D prints are sliced on Simplify 3D. Simplify 3D is a great slicer. Don't get me wrong. It's an excellent slicer. Just it doesn't have some of the stuff that the newer slicers have. So, yeah, I don't mind. The other slicer I use is for the Flash Forge, which is Flash Print. They've come a long way since I first started Flash Print. So the Flash Print slicer is not bad either. They even have tree supports, which I really like. Super Slicer and Prusa Slicer need to get tree supports. They need to get them for sure. If you get to go to dinner, other than gas station and McDonald's, you don't really care if there's a printer there. Okay, honey, we're gonna work on this. We're gonna work on this. It's gonna be called the 3D date. How's that? And we have to wear DWIT 3D. I may wear a tripod, but we have to wear some stuff. Expert mode can be a little steep learning curve. Yes, on Super Slicer you're talking, I imagine, Old Curmudgeon. There is a lot of options. It's like you can choose everything. You can choose. Yeah, wow. You blame your interest in 3D printing from your childhood interest in operating the claw to get stuffed animals in those coin-operated machines at the mall. Yeah. Those things. Talk about a money grab, I tell you. IHOP is on the list. We don't have IHOP here, Kieran. I don't think. Oh, we have an IHOP here. Yes, we do. But I think I would rather do it with like a place like the Keg, or I could do it with one of my customers. Actually, one of my customers. We have restaurants for customers. Ooh, that'd be easier to set it up. Maria, we have to chat. You should take a printer down to the strip and start printing, but you could have Foundations of Bellagio in the background. Yes, Taco Bell. Ooh, that's very romantic. What movie was it where Taco Bell was the big fancy restaurant? Demolition Man. Yeah, Demolition Man. Every time I hear Taco Bell, I think of that movie. 70th birthday. Well, happy belated birthday, David Wilson. Built Over Box says she didn't say no Taco Bell. That's true. That's true. You're thinking Chopped Steakhouses, the Keg. Oh, let me talk to one of my customers. Let the manager know you're a local streamer and owner of, and he'll be plugging them in the video description. A neat, nice place. That's what I say, Jerry. If I go to one of my customers, we have some pretty nice restaurants that we do business for. If I go to one of them, they know who I am. I can talk to them about the channel and tell them that they will get a lot of exposure. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, Jerry. Not a bad idea at all. Oh, Maria, good night, everyone. Make sure whoever's footing the bill, just know I want champagne as well. Yeah, you guys. Okay, we're going to start taking donations now. Good night, my love. You take your wife to Taco Bell on Valentine's Day every year. Well, that's good. Taco Bell's the way of the future, according to the movie Demolition Man. So that's good. That is good. Let's see how this print is doing. What a good way to kill time. Okay, we're okay. I think we're good now. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good to stop this now, because the corners went from crap to really good little section of about 2 millimeters. Now they're going to the dogs. Built Over Bot. You better hope she's logged off. David Wilson, that's a very good possibility if I talk to them about it. Very good possibility. Chairman's in Calgary. I've never heard of Chairman's in Calgary. Good point, Jerry. Has to be picked up in a limo. Come on, Built Over Bot. Okay. Anyways, what we're going to do is, as they suggested here, that's a great idea. I'm not going to drop that idea. I'm going to stop this print because it has gone from it's gone from bad to good to bad. Okay, I'm just going to lower the bed. The printer is surprisingly, it's just because of the motors, but it's loud. You can hear that thing running when it's going. I can't home everything. That's what I don't like right now. So right now the printer is stopped. If anybody can weigh in on this, possibly. I know it's something to do with the config file, but okay. So my printer stopped right now. If I try to lower the Z, it does not let me lower the Z right now. It says must home axis first before I lower my Z. But I want to lower this to get my print down lower, but I can't. It wants me to home. I can't home right now because my print's in the middle of the bed. So anyways, just don't take the RatRig. No. Let me pull this off. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Let's grab the close-up camera. I'm going to put this expensive camera table off to the side here. And we'll have a look at this. So, This did exactly what it was supposed to do. Put it in my cancel print macro, yes. When you read it, go low. Okay, I gotta find my caliper. Where are those anyways? They're here somewhere. That's the one thing about purging your studio, is that you never know exactly where you put everything. But anyways, let's have a look at this first. So if we go to the close-up camera here, there we go. Now you'll see, if I zoom, if I focus, okay, that's kind of, so it's not as, I can't get really close here. Let's see. And that's going to be too bright, maybe. Yeah, that's too bright. But if you can see, right down there, if I get this at a better angle, okay, you can kind of see, it's really hard to see on this camera, guys. But you can kind of see, there we go. So down here, you can see where the corners are blobby. And then in here, you can see where the corners have kind of cleaned up. And then on this side, you can't see it so well, but if I turn around, you can see where the corners have really gone to hell in a handbasket. So if I'm measuring in here, I'm going to measure, there we go, I'm going to measure up to, in this area, right in here. Okay. Yeah. So in there is where I would measure to. Now, I believe on each side, it's going to be very similar. That one is not as blobby on the bottom, but that still went to hell. But it's around the same height. Then over here, again, similar thing. You can kind of see that the corners start to look good right in here. Probably right in this area right here. And again, on this side, you can see the blobs on the bottom. And we're good probably right through here. And then if we come around, you can see where they've gone to hell in a handbasket up here. So we look like we're pretty much at the same height on all four sides. So pretty much right about in here. Stepper disabled at the end. I think it's just something to do with, apparently there's something I can set in my config file which lets me, even when I first power the printer on, I have to home everything before I can move an individual axis. So I'll figure that out. In the ending G code, okay, drop Z by 50 millimeters. You could also home XY at that point. Okay, good point. I'll look at that. A Sharpie on each corner. Oh, I see what you mean. And then kind of take it on average. So if I think I'm, hang on a minute here. So if I'm looking right in around this area right here, and I'm looking in right around here. And on this one's a little harder to tell, but probably right around here. And right there. I just need to find let's just go back here. My calipers. Okay, they're here somewhere. You know, I should have had these ready. I used them not long ago. There they are. There we go. I knew they weren't far away. Don't have to be perfect, close will do. Okay. Well, let's make sure my calipers are... Oh, come on, you've got to be kidding. Yeah, dead battery. Okay, well, let me just gotta love the live streams when this thing happens. No, I couldn't check my calipers before the stream and make sure the batteries were good. Use a lower value if you can. A meter rule is good enough. Okay. Let me find that little screw bit here, I'm just changing the battery in the caliper here. Hopefully I have a battery for the caliper. That was not the battery compartment that I opened. Well, where the heck would you put a battery in this thing? A ruler never has a dead battery. I know. I can read this thing manually too. It's got manual readings on it, but you know. It's got to be these top two. No. No. Those are probably calibrating screws. Where the heck would you put it? Let's try this one. Oh, there we are. There's the battery compartment. So this needs a, this looks like a, easier if I do this, a CR2032. I think I have one. CR2032. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Should buy a lottery ticket. I have a brand new CR. Whoops, I left you guys out of focus. Sorry. I have a brand new CR2032 battery right here. Didn't know I had it. It's amazing how I can find the battery faster than I can find the calipers. Now I know the trick on these batteries is to, whenever possible, hold them by the edges only. Okay. Okay. Do the battery compartment back up. Yeah, it is a big battery. And it's not working. What? Not working. They were working last time I used them. Yes, I'm pretty sure I have the battery in the right way. But, oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, darn. How embarrassing will that be? Okay. That's not too embarrassing. I mean, I had a 50% chance of getting it right. Okay, there we go. 0. We want millimeters. Okay, so we are looking on this one. Oh, wow. We're going to go to the low side, so we're looking at 1067, 1070. I'm going to call it 10 millimeters. On this side, I'm calling it 11.5. Oh, sorry, that's not even focused here. On this side, we're calling it 11.6. On this side, 11.9. So I'm going to round it off to 11. 11 falls in the good area there. 11 falls in the good area there. Yep. Okay, we're going to call it 11. Get rid of that battery. 11's an easy number. I don't even have to write it down because anybody can remember 11. What camera you use? It's so clear. You mean the Mr. Camo, the main camera? So you mean this camera? Close-up camera is clear too if I focus it right. This is a Sony a5100, my main camera. I used to use the Logitech cameras, but I got this one on a good deal. Yeah, so an a5100. So 11 times 0.02. So let me just make sure that that number is right. 11 times 0.02. Who's better at math than me? I have to do it this way. 11 times 0.02 equals 0.22. Correct. The main, yes. Yeah. So 0.22. So if I go to machine, printer config, and we go down to, let's see, that is under speed and acceleration. That's under extrusion. Okay, so yeah, pressure advance right now is commented out. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Probably not the clearest. Where is Astro when you need to kill? I know. So I'm going to uncomment pressure advance. And I'm going to put pressure advance equals 0.22. And save and restart. So pressure advance should be good now. So, well, that's an hour and a half. I don't want to get into, I don't necessarily want to get into anything else right now because it'll take a long time and I don't like going over too, but I want to show you guys the print is other than the corners, okay, which we know the corners are awful because that was the whole idea of this project. But so the bottom layer, really nice on this, okay, and the walls are not bad. Okay, the walls are actually really good. And so, and again, inside where you see these marks, that's the corners. That's due to the pressure advance settings. You can see on the bottom and the insides too, where it was blobbing. And then you can see the area where it was good and then where it started to go. So there's a very small window there for setting the pressure advance. But other than that, I mean, look at the walls on this. They look really nice. I'd like to actually quickly print a Chep cube right now and see how the walls are going to look now that I've adjusted some pressure advance. So it's not going to help the ringing because that's what the input shaper's for. But since I have it already queued up in here, anybody that wants to stick around and watch, I'm going to run this and then we're going to, actually I'm going to run the Benchy with the, I'm going to run the Benchy with the Jessie PLA. And this, I'm not sure how long this Benchy is going to take, but we're going to run the Benchy. What the heck? Oh, and it's interesting. My bed, oh yeah, no, there we go. The bed did start to cool down. So I did the PID tuning on this thing. I did the PID tuning last week. PID tuning is something you didn't have to be here to watch because it's kind of boring because all it does is, but I finally got a light went off in my head while I was watching this thing PID tune as to exactly what it does. So if I set my bed temperature, for instance, to 210 and PID tune at 210, the thermistor raises, and as soon as the temperature hits 210, the heater cuts off. But the temperature still climbs a certain amount after the heater cuts off. Then the temperature starts to drop a little bit. And as soon as that temperature drops back to 210, okay, the heater turns on. Okay, but when the heater turns on, the heat is still dropping a little bit as it's heating up again. And then it repeats that cycle at a couple temperatures. So I was wondering how PID tuning did what it did, but it kind of makes sense to me now that it's measuring the rise in temperature after it shuts off, and it's measuring the drop in temperature after it shuts off, and then it's finding that happy medium so that as you're printing, it can keep that temperature more consistent based on the knowledge of how high and how low it goes. So most of you guys probably knew that. Not the bed at 210. Oop, did I say the bed? Nozzle. Okay, the bed was, I did the bed at 65. But same idea, it did the same kind of thing. But it was like a light, and most of you guys are going, well, duh. But it was like a light bulb to me that's exactly what it's measuring. So here we go. I'm just going to print a benchy. If anybody wants to stick around and watch it, I'm going to stream for about another half hour. And then we'll call it time. Liam, you're here. You don't know Klipper, but it was a math question. It was 11 times 0.02. That should have been like this for you. Test the new setting. Oh yeah, okay. I guess I should have printed that other test one. Yeah, why don't I do that? We'll see how the benchy looks. There's some square corners in the benchy on the back. Yeah, that was an oopsie, old curmudgeon, the bed at 210. You guys knew what I meant. You left your printer on preheat. Oops, yeah. That'll just burn the, that's what you get the black around your nozzle from. It's going to burn the filament that's in your nozzle. Substitute nozzle. Yes, thank you, David. Okay, see you, Chris. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let me stop this. If I do the test, it's a quicker print. And we're already pretty much heated up. Yeah, go back home. Go home. Go back to where you belong. Okay. There we go. We'll just print it as it is. See you, Chris. Okay, 2070 is still hanging around. Thank you so much, guys. If you're new here, appreciate the likes and subscribes down here. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I promise a lot of my streams are a little more exciting than this. Hopefully you get something out of them. I've learned a lot of what I've learned by subscribing and watching other people's streams. And that's sort of what drove me to get on and stream myself. So yeah, if you're new here and you haven't, just please subscribe. I'm close to that 1,000 number. And at 1,000, I'll be doing a giveaway. So it's going to be exciting times. Mika Steve. Hello, welcome. Thank you for popping in. Yeah, David. Yeah, this heats up surprisingly fast as well. But I am going to put both my sides on, and I may make a front door. I've got the one side on now. I've got the other side just sitting over here, waiting to go. I may make a front door too because I've got my basement gets cold in the winter, and it's got quite the ambient temperature. I'm worried about heat loss on the edge of the bed if I do a larger print. So we'll see how well it works. My video seems to be much closer to chat than yours was earlier. Much closer to chat. Oh, 10-second delay between doing and seeing. Oh, wow, okay. I don't know. Do I have a delay? I can't tell. There's always a delay between StreamYard and YouTube. And what's 480? Why am I looking at myself at 480? Oh, that's better because I'm streaming on 1080p. My YouTube was set to 480. So, oh, we're just homing right now. We're going to get ready to start this print. Here we go. But yeah, it's been a great 12, 13 weeks, whatever it's been with this whole thing. Because if I'm being honest with everybody here, when I got the RatRig and first started building it, back of my mind, and it's always this little, I don't know, it's me. But it's like, this is never going to work. You're going to build it. It's going to look cool, but it's not going to work. But it works. It works. So, if it wasn't for the help from all you guys out there that helped me with this, you know, this is great. You have a confession to make. Oh, your mom, when she's in bed, hates it when there's noise upstairs because of printer. Yeah. Some of these printers can make noise, but some of them I have to turn around. When I'm running my Prusa, I have to turn around to say, is it actually printing? So some of them it's hard. Do I worry about my filament not in a dry box? No, not me. We're in a dry environment where we are. Does my filament get moisture? Yeah, some of it does. I have an industrial grade food dehydrator that I can dry my filament out in if need be, but I don't usually have any issues drying filament. We're in Alberta. We're a dry climate out here for the most part, so I don't really have an issue with that. I'm lucky. Okay, when you stream, chat has popped out in the YouTube and video window closed, so there's not to be distracting. Yeah, I'm reading chat right out of the StreamYard window. Okay. Yeah, it looks fine still. I may just, oh yeah, that's fine. So it maintained my Z offset from when I set it before. And if I'm louder, it's because I'm right up closer to the microphone. I got to do something about this microphone too. Sound is another thing I got to work on my studio, plus camera placements for other cameras. I want to put a camera here. I want to get my overhead camera working properly. Yeah, overhead camera is tough with the RatRig because it's so tall, and the ceiling's a 9-foot ceiling, but the RatRig is sitting probably 6 feet up. So if I have a camera here, it's almost too close. Okay, let's see. Yep. Okay, good start to the print. So I'm going to let this print run a little bit. Yeah, I'm doing the same print again. See how the corners turn out? Because a Benchy would just take too long, and this is a quicker print. And this will give us a good idea. Here, let me just start this here. Let's see how close I can get this. Man, this box is unstable. Sorry, guys, it's jumping around. There we go. Oh, I need a better camera stand. Maybe I'll even speed this up after a few layers. What camera is pointed at the printer? Well, the focus is hard to get. Let me focus it here. I've turned off the autofocus by mistake, so there we go. It's just a document camera. Jerry has one. Neres has one. Jerry has one. I think John has one. Tripod's Garage. It's a document camera that I got off Amazon.com. Maybe Jerry can find the link. I'm not sure, but yeah. I can't get them anymore. Whenever I go to get it, it says that they're sold out, unavailable. The arm is a bit shaky. I'm thinking of actually the head of the camera is perfect. It's got the light. Normally it's autofocus, but I'm not going to call it a flaw. But if you hit manual focus on this camera, it's in manual focus mode until you unplug it and plug it back in again. And I don't want to do that because it'll freeze. I have to reboot OBS. So. But it's a great camera, and it does a great job. My lighting is not the best right now, but for what it does it pretty good. And there goes the printer shake again. Oh my goodness! And that shake is just because it's on a Lazy Susan. No, it's not a Benchy, Steve. I decided to print that square again. A Benchy would take too long. And this will, as David Wilson said, print this again. And this is going to give me a great idea of how the corners look now that I've set the pressure advance. So this makes sense to run this test after I do a pressure advance setting to make sure the pressure advance setting worked. So, yeah, earthquake. Tell me about it. Let's just see. And it's looking fine. I really like that filament. I'm kind of liking this Jesse PLA stuff. So I did a print last week in the I don't know where I put it, in the different blue. It was so nice, but it was pretty decent filament. Oh, there, Old Curmudgeon posted the link there. Perfect. Thanks, Old Curmudgeon. Let's see if it's available here yet. Oh, it is available here now. Okay. They have they've changed it. It looks like a little different design now. Huh. Oh, do I have that backwards? Interesting. I may be using my base. That's why it's tipping. I'm probably, well, it's tips either way for me. I've tried it, but I find the base could use a little more weight in it. So I may end up opening that base and putting some lead weights in it. Working on your thumbnail from your live stream. Awesome. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, this is a great camera. I heard about it through Chris Neary's Today's 3D Print. When he got it, and right away I said, "Oh, I love that!" So I ordered one, and it took a while to get in, but yeah, it's a great camera. I mean, it's intended to take pictures of documents, so it's not intended for the use that we use it for, but it works great for the use that we use it for. It just needs, it could use a better arm extension for what we use it for, but for what it's made for, it's perfect. You came late. Do you need a computer plugged in at all times? Do I need a computer plugged in at all times? No. No, as a matter of fact, this main computer that I run for my streaming, I don't know. It's something in Windows, I'm sure. It tends to shut itself off once in a while. I don't know why, but I personally leave my computers running 24/7. Just sitting there, they don't use much. They would not increase my electricity bill by a fortune by leaving it running. My monitors all go to sleep, and the computer does have a sleep mode, but as I say, the odd time it just shuts itself off. So for the RatRig, I use a Raspberry Pi, yes. From what I understand, Klipper is loaded on the Raspberry Pi, so Raspberry Pi does the heavy load of computing. The board, the SKR board, is basically sending the, see, that's sort of what, I know the Raspberry Pi holds the software, does all the computing, sends the instructions to the SKR, which then sends it to the printer to do what it's got to do. So, okay, good night, Mr. Camo. Thanks for popping in. 88.99 right now, and they go up and down. Yeah, keep an eye out for a sale because they could go. I think I paid, like, if I'm not mistaken, I paid 58 something US for mine. It was a good deal. Good night, Mr. Camel. Take care. See you next time. All the computing is done on the Pi, yeah. So it takes the, and I've got these little tiny little fans. I bought a fan for the Pi. Somebody told me when I showed them that that's going to make a lot of noise. Those things are dead silent. It's a little dual fan. I threw the box out, but it's a tiny little dual fan you plug into the Pi and stick it on the little CPU on the Pi, and boy, does it work good. It lowers my temperature. Right now, my Pi is running at, well, it's probably a little hot now, but if I show you here, the Pi is running at 32.1 degrees Celsius, and the SKR is running at 40. Without that little fan on it, you could probably add 6 or 7 or 8 degrees to the Pi when it's running. So that fan does make a fair bit of difference on it. So, but the SKR Pro, wow, it's running almost as hot as a hotbed. Look at that, 40 Celsius on the Pro. I should put a fan on that, I suppose, as well. I mean, I can add a fan to the back, whatever. So I'm not sure if that's running, if that's considered running a little hot, or if I should put a fan on there. What do you guys think? you know. Oh, 40 to 45 with a fan. Wow. Yeah, well, Shane, it's not noisy yet. I mean, mind you, it's been running. I've left this on. This has been on for not printing, just been on for probably, oh gosh, 5 days in a row, and it's still just. I come down and I think, is it on? And I see the fan running, so it's pretty good. I guess I lucked out with the fan I bought. You had your fan on your Octopi since day one. I don't know if they're actually physically hot to the touch, but I could always put... no. Now the CPU is pretty... It's not even really warm to the touch, but I'm not going to put a cover on the back, so I don't know if I actually need a fan. There is a in the let me pop this up and I'll show you. If I go to when I was doing the build and I switched the boards. Let's go here. I'll just show you what I'm looking at here. So when I did the build and switched the boards, right here, and then the electronics, firmware, under the wiring diagrams. So right here, when I switch to this board, they have what's called a layer fan that you can plug in here. So we have our driver fan, which is basically the the fan that's cooling the hot end. And then we have the hot end fan, which is the part cooling fan. Oh, sorry, layer fan is hot. Layer fan is the part cooling fan. We have the hot end fan. Then they have what's called a driver fan recommended. I think that fan is intended as a cooling fan for the CPU on the SKR. So I haven't put that on. I've got other fans. It's going to be a 24 volt. I should maybe, but I'd have to, somebody I'm sure built a mount for it or whatever, but I guess I could put a mount on it, have that cooling fan blowing on the board. So, but I think other than that, I just have these two fans on it right now, the hot end fan and the layer fan, but the driver fan, to cool these drivers, I haven't put that on yet, and I could do that, I suppose, and that would lower that 41 degrees temperature probably down in around that 30 mark or something like that. So that's again something I could add down the road. That corner does not look too good right there. That corner is not looking good at all. Stepper drivers, you want a RatRig performance? You want RatRig on performance? Oh, I get it. Okay. So what's going on with this corner? So something's gone wrong there. Huh. So we're going to stop this. We're almost at the end of the stream anyways. I'm going to stop this because way too much pressure advance. Yeah, I know that now. Yeah, I see that. So something. Oh yeah, all the corners are awful. Oh man, look at the corner on this. Like it's not even a square corner. Yeah, that one right here is the cleanest of the corners. But yeah, there's oh man, yeah, this is way too much pressure advance. So I gotta look into that. Yeah, and I think it said something about if you're so high. Learning curves here. Let me see. Talks about it down here. Yeah, it talks about if the pressure advance is too high over 0.2. Yeah, so I've got to work on that. Again, I was just going by the measurements on this. Again, unless I miscalculated the measurements on this thing, if I measured wrong, but I'm pretty sure I measured right. Yeah. What number did I use? I used 11 millimeters. Okay, so I'll show you what I did here, Liam. If I share this screen, I printed the test like it said. Now, see, the test shows infill there, but it told me not to do any infill. Oh, that's just the top of it. I didn't finish the model. I didn't have to. So, basically, I measured from the bottom to the top. Okay, maybe, did I maybe do the math wrong? Because I measured 11 times 0.2. Oh, I wonder if I, oh, you know what I think I did? This would be embarrassing. Well, not too embarrassing. No, I did it right. 11 times 0.02 equals 0.22. Did I put the number in wrong? No, the 0.02. Oh, no, okay, this was for, oh, okay, you're right. Direct drive, I use the, you're right, I use the Bowden factor. Lucas is exactly right. I should have done it by 0.005. So my number should be 11 times 0.005. My pressure advance should be 0.055. Okay, thank you, Lucas, for pointing that out. I used it for Bowden, and I'm not using a Bowden system. Okay. Yeah. Lucas, you're the man. Thank you. See, again, a rookie mistake. I overlooked that. That's what you guys are here for. Okay, so I need to go in here. I need to go to here, and I need to go to my printer config, and I need to fix that. And we'll just try that print one more time. Where are we here? Where did I find my pressure advance? Was under my extruder. Oh, yeah, okay. And so that's going to be 0.055. Let's take that out. 0.055. Okay, let's try this. This will be a little bit better. I might have found that, but it would have taken me a while to find it. But Lucas, thank you. Okay. Let's just quickly start that up one more time. And then that'll take us to the end of the stream. At least we'll see if it's printing properly. But you know what? I'll keep this as one of those holy crap samples. It's like, see what happens when you don't read carefully on the instructions. It's like, I'm like, pressure advance my ass. That's, anyways, there we go. Let this print a little bit, and then we will call it. Before you print the first one, you sent those 2 codes before printing. Yes, I did. I sent the 2 codes prior to printing this one, which is why this one looks crappy, good, crappy, crappy, good, crappy. Yeah. It did the... might even still be here. Yeah, you can see right here, Lucas, where it did the pressure advance each layer, where it changed at each layer. So that's what that coding did for me. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I was printing 0.005. Yes, but you know what I did? I read. I was reading this very literate when it came down here and said example right here would be your measurement times 0.02, whereas it doesn't say if you're using Bowden system. Okay, so I never even thought to go up here. I thought, oh, well, it's grabbing that 0.02 from here. I didn't even look and say that's Bowden, and I should have been looking up here. So, yeah. That's the mistake I made. So don't make the same mistake I made, anybody. Oh, not my camera. Whew. Tuning tower works for any settings you can issue via terminal. Cool. If you'd only read the fine print. There you go, Jerry. Okay, we'll try one more time here. Yeah, they're wrong for not making the math example more clear. They could have added foreboding system. That would have triggered me. Oh, I've got to go up and look for direct drive system. But at the same time, when I went up and said, oh, this is where the 0.02 number comes from, I should have realized, but no. But I'm glad you mentioned that, because it might have taken me, I might have been scratching my head for a little bit going, what did I do wrong? And reprinting it and all that. So yeah, but now I know. But hey, maybe that's something I mentioned to Klipper, say, hey, for that one little area, for the guys like me that are new to this, you might want to say that this example is for Bowden system. So yeah, there we go. Okay, we're going to start. We're going to print again. Make sure. Oh yeah. I like that it's keeping my Z offset too. Oh, I forgot to remove my old skirt. Ha! Remove that skirt. There we go. Okay, take two. We'll just let this run a bit. Make sure it's going to be good. Then we'll call it a stream. And we'll work on the other stuff. I'll work on the skewing through the week, and I'll work on the where are we going? Hang on. Well, I'll work on what this stream was supposed to be about next week. We'll do the input shaper next week. The math is never wrong. If I use the right numbers, the math is never wrong. You have to use the correct number corresponding. Is that ever true, Jerry, right? Fingers and toes to count with. Well, I have an abacus back here, and I still use the abacus, and it's got a lot more beads than my fingers and toes added up. So bad things happen if you don't remove the. So Dominic, I'm not the only one that does that. I always remove the purge lines. I never let them sit there. It's just a habit. Now that you've said that, I'm going to leave a purge line, and I'm going to have a failed print after 17 hours or something. You watch. You can, John, you can count to 15, then you're lost. That's funny. Okay, well, let's see how this does. That wasn't so embarrassing, but man, that's a worse fail than that Benchy I printed yesterday. Wow. That is one ugly. Well, it goes to show you that these settings do actually do something. So if my teacher were on here, he'd be embarrassed for me. Don't think he's watching tonight. 16, tripod 16, you mean? Oh, I get it why you're saying 16. You guys. There we go. And again, if you're wondering, I use, because I have the larger bed, I'm using a larger skirt because that allows me to make sure that I'm getting a good adhesion on that first layer. I have an itch in my arm. First layer is great. Interesting. I didn't have to adjust my Z offset right now, so I must have, yeah, it must be right in my config file. I wasn't sure in the config file. because a config file is showing a positive Z offset, but yet when you lower your Z on this, anyways, I'm just always, yeah. Macros for PLA and PETG. I haven't learned or taught myself how to put macros in here yet. We have the macros that are set up in here that were set up from the get-go. I have end print, load filament, prime line, RatOS, set center kinematic position, start print, and unload filament. Those are macros that are set up in here right now. I haven't tried any of them. I don't want to push any. I don't know what RatOS macro would do. Yeah, I don't want to, yeah. This shows 3 fans running, but I only have 2 fans on the printer. That's funny. Controller fan, tool head cooling fan, and fan. But this is quite the software. It's pretty cool. I just need to get my the height map is another thing I got to work on. That's my bad height map, but that's why we have the probe in there. But it's that, and again, I was told that makes it look like the bed is stupidly out of, warped. But it's, you got to think of the scale of this thing, right? So we're speaking of 0.3 millimeter or 0.3, 0.7, very little difference. Anyways, probed, yeah, flat, mesh. I got to learn about all this stuff. Oh, look at that. When you turn wireframe off, it looks good. Makes it look like my prints are going to be upside down and going downhill. So, oh, there's a history. I never looked in here. You should do a macro to move Z down after a print and add more Z in your MG code. Oh, good idea. Okay. The higher the number, the closer the nozzle to the build plate. I always get that mixed up. I always get that mixed up. And I've been doing this a while. You have the main offset in the config, then you do additional offset value that's in the start macro. Okay, makes sense. Start print PLA, start print PETG that I call from my slicer. Now there's supposed to be, on a similar topic, there's supposed to be, if I open this, when I did, so we have the Prusa Slicer open here, okay? Now, oh, you can't see it because my picture's in the way, but over on the bottom of Prusa Slicer here, this button here is supposed to send the G-code directly to the printer or to the software, but this one's configured for the old, or for the, hang on, I just lost my screen. This one's configured for the DWIT. Now, when I go into printer settings here, so as I say, this one is set for DWIT. There's no option in here for the for Klipper at all, so I can't figure out how to get this to work. If it even might not even work to send directly to Klipper. So, but that is the right host name, the IP address that I need. But it does not have the host type in here. I tried all of these, and none of them work for this one. Yeah, so I didn't try Octoprint. I don't think it would work anyways if I did, but yeah. So I don't know if I can print directly from Prusa Slicer. It may be different in Super Slicer. Once I get Super Slicer going, that may be a little bit different for me. So we'll have to see what that does. So there's a Klipper firmware option though. Where? That calls a macro and Klipper. Klipper firmware option in Prusa Slicer? Or am I misunderstanding that? I don't see it. Have I got a G sensor installed? I can use Octoprint. Oh, okay. I didn't try Octoprint. Have you got a G sensor installed? I don't believe so. Super Slicer has a Klipper firmware flavor. Oh, okay. I'll have to look at that. I haven't put Super Slicer on this computer yet. Let me look at Octoprint. I wonder if I can do it while it's running. I'm sure I can. If I do Octoprint, and then put the password in. What is my API password for that one again? It is, I have to look that up. Meanwhile, that print is looking those corners look much better. Huge difference. Major difference. Let's find that. Password right there is George746. Let's test it. Oh, a sensor, a G sensor. I have a ADXL 345 sensor. Yes. I haven't, it's not installed right now, but I have, hang on. Oh. Yes. Yeah, it's not, Prusa Slicer is not reading that. I think maybe I'll just try that after this print's done later or tomorrow. Yes, I have, I made my wire configuration. I have my ADXL right there, all connected, ready to go. And my plug's going into the main board. So yeah, I have that all ready to go. And then I have the, I printed the mount. This is the mount. This will mount on the front of the fan shroud. So in other words, this was, I got off of Thingiverse. Somebody had already designed this, and this is going to mount kind of right on the front here, on the front there, so that I do have my true X and Y axis for the accelerometer. So yeah, I do have that ready to go. I ordered that directly from Adafruit. I don't have the G code set to do the bed mesh. I've done the bed mesh a couple times, but I need to get that into my start G code to do my mesh every time. It's pretty quick. So, but I've also, and usually what I'm doing with this test I didn't, but usually I'm going to do the 3-point bed alignment as well. Don't mount it on the plastic fan housing. Well, it actually screws into the whole mount there. It's not just the plastic fan housing that's going to mount it. It's going to go through with, I believe, 25mm screws. It's the only place I could find, the only model I could find for where to mount it. Amazon has accelerometers for $5 a piece. I just went directly to Adafruit. I don't remember what I paid for it, maybe 20 bucks. Amazon in Canada, though, is so different. Our prices are a whole lot higher. So, yeah, I probe your edge with 3-mesh once a year. Yeah. I think, you know, if I'm running smaller prints in this thing, it's not so bad. If I'm going to run a big full bed print or multi-prints up on the bed, I'm going to do a mesh probe for sure, just to ensure that it's set proper. Now, those corners look really good now. So, yeah, no, definitely, because it's going to go through the, yeah, that front fan shroud, that fan cover is flimsy as all get out. But where the screws screw in that hold the fan on, the fan is very solid. So this is basically going to go through those top 2 fan screws into the hot end. So it should be pretty solid. You got 6 and mounted them permanently. This is just going to be a I'm going to leave it mounted, but I'm not going to leave it wired up, obviously, because it's only required whenever every once in a while if I change something, if I tighten my belts, loosen my belts, or when I go to put it on its permanent home, I'm going to be doing the input shaping again. So let me get up and have a quick look at this. Oh yeah, those are nice. Yeah, I can probably zoom in a little closer to that. Nice looking print too. That filament is much darker than it looks on camera. It can do real time. Well, from what I've been reading, you set it and then you can unplug it and it stores it because it stores it in the config file. So from what I understand, I got to research that a bit more. But if I go like this, if I bring this up a little bigger and over a bit, there, yeah, that really does not do that. That does not do the filament color justice at all. It's much. Anybody who's used Jessie PLA blue filament, yeah, you know that that's not accurate. It's just the lighting in here. But those corners look really good. So yeah, I don't know if it can compensate on the fly. I guess it could, but I'll have to look into that and see. Everything I've read basically says calibrate and take it off. Hey, those corners look much better than the last run, right, guys? Oh wow, 8:10 already. We put our clocks back this morning too. It was fall back, so we gained an extra hour. So we're gonna have lighter mornings and darker nights. Yeah, yeah, and I won't leave mine wired. It's just I don't want to run another wire up there, but I'll leave it on there. But the way I've got my wires made, it's just a quick plug in and plug out. Just I'll leave the ones on the board because I didn't have six different color wires, so I made sure those are right. And then when it comes to plugging it onto the SKR, you can't mix them up. Well, there's a 4 and a 2, and I know exactly where those go now. So. The shadows are growing long. Yes, they are. They are. It's that time of the year. Well, I definitely got to change the description of this video because this has nothing to do with input shaping, although this leads up to doing input shaping. What acceleration setting? What acceleration setting am I on? That's a good question. I don't know. Is that something I'm going to find in my config file there, Paul Curmudgeon? Let's see. There we are, acceleration. It is really no acceleration setting set right now. That's to do with the resonance compensation. Let me show you what I'm seeing. So what I'm seeing on here, if I can make this a little bigger for you guys to see, right there. And the speed and acceleration is right there. So basically, whatever this means, basically is include config printers VCore 3 speed limits basic CFG. So obviously there's some basic settings set up in there, and as Lucas says, probably the default of 1500 and 750, and that would have to be run. That would have to be run. I think I have to add a couple lines when I do the input shaper. I've got to read a bit more about that. But this talks about resonance compensation for input shaper calibration, and then I believe there's a couple lines I've got to put in here to do with input shaper once I do that calibration. Again, brand new to me, so I'm learning as I go. I'm just learning where to find everything in here as it is, right? So, yeah, this is the area that I have to look at when I do my input shaper. And then I have to read up on skew and what I've got to do to adjust my skew. Klipper doesn't use jerk. Yeah, okay. It's in a different file. Okay. So the file I need to open is the basic config, speed limit basic config. So if I go under here, config, printers, hot ends, extruders, boards. Which one am I going to look in? Extruders probably. No. No, that's the extruder config file. No, I don't need the hot end file. See, this is all new to me. Printers, vCore 3, physical end stop, speed limits performance, speed limits basic. There we go. Maximum velocity 200. See, I could find my way around eventually. Acceleration. Where's the acceleration? 750, 1500 and 750, just as Lucas had mentioned, the defaults. So this is where I can change those numbers. Okay, I'm kind of getting how this Klipper works now. It's like it's got submenus so that the main config is pointing to all these sub-config things. So, okay, that makes sense. I just have to come in here one day and look around all this. So here's my 2209 configurations. Okay. This was all set up for me through RatRig, through the file that I downloaded, so on the RatOS. So there's my 500 config size. Yeah. So there we go. There's the physical end stop. So there's a speed limit performance. Again, I've got to figure out what all this does. A lot of this is just Greek to me. So yeah, I just need to, again, I'm learning as I go. Now I know where to find the numbers for acceleration. So what Lucas said, yeah, don't change these other files. You can override on the main printer config. Don't change the other files. No, I won't touch anything I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah. And unless something tells me to go in there that I've configured and somebody says, oh, hey, I suggest you go in and change your accelerations, I won't do it. And I've got to know that they know what they're doing. So config files were distributed is the way they were. Okay. I think the reason I like it is because when I come in here to the printer config file, so when I come into this section here, it's pretty simple. It's not overwhelming for me. But now that I know that there are sub-files, so in other words, going into this config file and then going into the printers and then, you know, now that I know I can come in here and find some sub-files for doing whatever I need to do, I'm not that I'm going to touch any of these things. So again, there's my acceleration, there's my deceleration. Now that I know these, then it's like, yeah, okay, I kind of get the way they've laid this out, and I kind of like it. I think it's just a matter of learning where they are. Whereas I think in the what's called RepRap, whatever the other firmware, where it's all listed and it's just forever and ever, that confused me because it was like I would get lost in there. So 55 views on your Z1 stream. Wow, good. Input shaper should make acceleration and jerk obsolete. Okay. copy this section and paste into the printer config. You do that too. Yeah. What do I need to set to 7K? Lucas, you say you need to set it to 7K. Once I forget, I can watch the video. That's true. That's very true. But I take pretty good mental notes up here. Well, the acceleration for input Shepard testing. I believe I remember that reading that it says to change that. So I will definitely be, at least I know where to find it now, which is great. Thank you. But yeah, I'm going to follow the step-by-step instructions on the Klipper site about doing the input pressure testing. So input shaper. So we are doing pretty good here. I'm going to let this go. Those corners look really good. Let me just get up here and have a look at them. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The overall print is looking really nice. So, oh, just for fun while we're on stream, what the heck? Let me crank the speed up here, see what it does. May I'll shoot it all to crap, but I just want to see. Now that we know the corners are looking good, let's double the speed. There we go. Now we're moving. Now we're moving a bit quicker. It's like they say in the carnival, do you want to go faster? Should I go to 300%, see what happens? Why not? I think it's starting to... Let's boost it a bit more. Well, I may have the maximum speed set in the slicer to... It's probably hit the maximum speed that I had set in the slicer. Oh, it's not doing too bad at that speed. Not doing too bad at all. Well, I'm going to put a stop to this. I'm going to have a quick peek at this. Have a quick peek at it. There's no need to finish it because I know I can see that. Oh, there we go. I can see that the pressure advance has done its job. So, yeah, so if we look, let's get this camera down here. It's about time for me to call this. Whoa, don't want to drop my fancy box. There we are. Focus. So not bad. Even the sides on this are turning out really nice. Corners look fine. Inside here. A little bit of ringing, but that'll be taken care of with input shaper. But, oh, that's just the corner where it finished. And what's that on the bottom? Oh, as you can see where I sped it up. Great. You can kind of see a little difference from where I sped it up. Right along there, starting under extrude a little. So, but otherwise, really, really nice. So, there we go, everybody. I am going to call it a night as well. Thank you, everybody who's hung around this long. And thank you for everybody that's joined the channel. And if you're new, as I say, like and subscribe. It's awesome. I'm going to change the description of this. And next week, we will look at input shaper because I'll just sort of give myself a little more education this week. So I look again like a little bit like I know what I'm doing. But wonderful help today, guys. Everybody that's on stream that was helping me, thank you so much. As I say, I learned from you guys, and hopefully somebody can learn from me a little bit along the way. So that'd be great. So, we made some good headway tonight. We learned a little bit about reading instructions carefully. We got the pressure advance working. We got some decent looking prints here. This Jesse PLA I'm learning is beautiful stuff. I can't wait to print an actual job with it. So wonderful. But anyways, thank you guys, everybody who popped in. Much appreciate all the advice and everything like that. And yeah, check out Old Curmudgeon's channel here. And next week, wife swapping. Okay, David. Anyways, everybody have a wonderful night. We'll catch you all next week, and we'll catch you through the week, okay? Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.